It's that time once again for HEW Entertainment Radio.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Hosted by Jonathan Clarke.
To be the man, you gotta be the man. Woo!
Be sure to join us in the live chat room during the show.
Hulkamania is running wild like it's never ran before.
Call us on one of our request lines. If you live in the United States, call us at 1-641-985-7800, box number 3729280. If you're from Canada and would like to call us from 1-647-724-4194, box number 3729280. Long distance charges may apply in some areas.
I've been the world heavyweight champion 10 times.
Or you can always drop us a line at MySpace, myspace.com/HEW Entertainment.
And you will rest in peace.
Emailing us works for you too. Email us HEWWrestling@hotmail.com.
I am a wrestling god. JBL.
And now, without any further ado, here is your host of HEW Entertainment Radio on the official website of HEW Entertainment, Jonathan Clarke.
The champ is here.
Very pleased to welcome to my show this evening independent wrestling star Mike Sydal. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Pretty good. I understand that you're making a comeback or getting ready to make a comeback to the independents. What's the story behind that?
That is correct. I was injured back in March, and I am getting ready to make my comeback here on May 27th in Des Moines, Iowa for 3X Wrestling.
Great stuff. Now, you're the brother of Evan Bourne, right?
That is correct.
For those who don't know, how do you feel about being the brother of Evan Bourne, knowing that he made it to the WWE before you did? Are you kind of envious of that, or?
No. He also started wrestling before I did, so makes sense, doesn't it?
Makes sense. Yeah. Do you hope to make it to the WWE one day, though?
Yeah.
Great.
It would be cool.
And be awesome. Okay, Dylan, go ahead with your question.
First, I gotta say that's awesome because I like Evan, well, Matt, whatever you prefer to call him.
Yeah.
He's good. I'd like to see him fight Sin Cara with you in a triple threat. That would be a good main event for a WrestleMania. That would be cool. What? I said that would be cool. Yeah, it would. And my question for you is, how did you get your start in the independents? Like, what inspired you to do it? Was it your brother Matt, or did you just want to do it for your own passion and carry on the family name? It was probably a combination of both of those. You know, it's definitely very passionate about wrestling, and Matt kind of showed me how it can be done if you just work really hard.
Yeah. So
yeah, I figured if he can do it and be very successful, I should at least try it. And the worst that can happen is that I am not successful, but I have to at least try. So, and I did.
What's the biggest problem you see on the independents nowadays, Mike, that a lot of promoters aren't doing, or they're doing that needs some correction?
Excuse me?
What's the biggest problem you see happening on the independents now? What's the biggest problem that independent promoters are doing right now?
Oh, probably using untrained wrestlers.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah, have you ever ran into an occasion where you've worked with some untrained wrestlers, or?
Excuse me?
Have you ever ran into an occasion where you've worked with some untrained wrestlers, or?
Yeah, all the time.
Happens all the time, yeah. What's one piece of advice you could give to somebody who wants to get into the business?
go to a reputable training school.
And what's one place that you can recommend? Like, there are a couple out there. We got Harley Race out there with his own school. We got Vader just opening up his own. I don't know if you know Vader's opening his own wrestling school.
I don't know. I would say here's what I can tell you. I went to a WWE seminar with Johnny Ace. He's in charge of talent relations, and he said he named 4 schools: the Harley Race Academy here in Missouri, the OVW school in Louisville, the Ring of Honor school in Philadelphia, and the Lance Storm school in Calgary.
Right. We just recently had Abdul the Butcher here on the show, the recent WWE Hall of Fame inductee. Do you have any fond memories of Abdul the Butcher? Can you remember watching him?
Yeah, I think one of the first, back in the mid to late '90s, you couldn't just go to eBay and buy wrestling DVDs. It was a little bit more of an underground thing, which was actually kind of cool. And one of the first so-called underground tapes I bought was like Bloodiest Matches of the Caribbean. It was starring Abdullah the Butcher. It's pretty cool.
Have you seen Pirates of the Caribbean? Any of those 3 films?
Have I seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
I don't think so, man.
Those were great movies. It's funny that...
But Jonathan, I knew you were gonna ask something like that.
Yeah, we tend to change things up a little bit, and where he mentioned the Caribbean there, that was the first thing that kind of popped in my mind there, definitely. Do you think that The Undertaker's going to go to 20-0 at WrestleMania next year after that brutal match with Triple H and The Undertaker we saw this year, or do you think this...
No, I think Evan Bourne is going to deceive him and end his streak.
Wow.
Ryder.
Do you think Evan Bourne could possibly do that, or no? Do you think Evan Bourne could do that? Do you really have...
Of course he can. He's the best wrestler in the world.
He's the best wrestler in the world, and there's no denying that. What about women and their contributions to the sport? Do you think women offer equally just as much as the men do, or do you think that the men are definitely a superior thing?
No, of course women have a lot to offer.
Yeah, they do, definitely. I understand what you mean there and everything like that. Do you enjoy intermingling with the fans at the independent shows? What's the biggest crowd you've performed in front of, Mike?
Oh, let's see. There were probably 1,500 at the ROH show in Phoenix last year.
Oh, shit.
It's pretty exciting.
We've had several ROH stars here on the show. What's the most memorable ROH talent you've had the privilege of working with? We've had several here.
Actually, it's been a privilege working with all of them. They're all, everybody's very professional and helpful.
How do you find working with... How do you find working with Jimmy Jacobs? We had him here on the show, I think, last year.
Let's see, I wrestled Jimmy Jacobs at IWA Mid-South last year, I think, back in 2010. And he is, again, he's another one of those very, very professional, very helpful people.
Right. Do you think that the Athletic Commission should, allow some insurance for some wrestlers who tend to get hurt on the independents because there is no insurance? Do you think it would be great if we had some insurance for independent wrestling?
Sure, it would be great. Nobody could afford it, though.
No.
Most independent wrestlers don't even have health insurance, so I don't see how they could afford to have wrestling insurance, too.
Right. Are you enjoying seeing The Rock back in WWE for the first time in like almost 8 years now, I guess?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Seems like that's where he belongs. We'll see him back.
It's nice to see him back. Do you think he's going to be there for the long haul, or do you think once he finishes up this thing with Cena, he's done?
I have no clue.
Great. Have you ever met The Rock or Cena before, or?
Let me see. I met The Rock at Walmart in 1998. But on a professional level, no. I've never met either one of them.
You met The Rock at Walmart. That sounds interesting. What, did you just bump into him, or was it an autograph signing or something? Or?
Yeah, I just bumped into him.
And
they were doing a show in St. Louis.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great stuff. Now, the whole thing that Michael Cole is doing with the whole heel announcer deal, do you think it's right to have your lead voice be a heel character, or do you think that's a bunch of nonsense?
I don't know. Why not?
Well, do throw a good point there. Why not try something different, hey?
I think Jerry Lawler should have been the heel, because, he was a good heel as a commentator back in 2005.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the role that he used to play on commentary. I guess they see a different role for him right now, and he does well in that as well.
Right. So where do you see yourself in like 10 or 15 years, Mike?
Man, I don't know where I see myself in 10 or 15 days. That's a tough question. I don't know. I don't know where. I don't know what I'll be doing.
Okay.
I have no clue, dude. I just it's far too far in the future for me to I'll give Dionne Warwick a call here when I get off the phone with you, and she might have some insight, but I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. What about possibly inducting your brother into the WWE Hall of Fame, maybe in, say, 25 years, if you're not inducted?
Hey, I don't know why. Hey, they could just do it now, because he'll be there eventually. They might as well just get a head start.
Great stuff. You have a lot of faith in your brother. That's great. Brotherhood.
Of course.
Going strong there. That's awesome.
I see.
Do you have
Jonathan, I see both of these guys. Like, have you seen them in the Independents when they were tag teaming? The shooting star press and all those.
I saw.
He executes that move better than Billy Kidman could.
And Billy Kidman could do it pretty good. You're right there, Dylan. We're going to give Mike some time now to promote something he's got coming up here in the last few minutes. You got anything coming up, Mike, on the Independents?
Oh, really? The only thing I've got here is the big match I've got on May 27th in Des Moines, Iowa, at All Play for 3X Wrestling, where I will be wrestling my frequent partner and frequent adversary, Zach Thompson, for the 3X Wrestling Pure title.
Great stuff. Well, Mike, thanks for stopping by. Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans in closing? It's been a pleasure.
Thank you all for watching, and hope I can continue to provide you with enjoyment, and stay positive.
Great stuff. For Mike Sydal, I'm Jonathan Clarke, and we'll see you soon.